There are moments in life when we all tell ourselves the same comforting lie. I'll deal with it later. Those four words have followed each of us like a shadow, whether it was searching through a forgotten attic box, calling a friend we've drifted from, or finally making that appointment we've been avoiding for years. This story isn't about fame or glittering cameras. It's about being human, about hesitation, the quiet ache of worry, the fear of facing the unknown, and the tenderness that can finally push someone to act. And at the center of this heartfelt tale stands a man named Mark, whose charm could light up any room, whose humor could soften the hardest day, and whose spirit seemed unbreakable to anyone watching from the sidelines. On screen, Mark always looked like the picture of confidence. From his dramatic roles to his warm presence on a morning show, he carried himself with effortless grace. He had the kind of smile that could convince you everything in the world was perfectly fine. His energy radiated so brightly that you would never guess something had been quietly troubling him for almost his entire life. For 54 years, there was one simple, important, responsible thing he had never brought himself to do. Not because he didn't care, not because he didn't have access or awareness, but because, like so many of us, fear whispered louder than logic. Imagine carrying a habit of avoidance for more than half a century. Imagine brushing aside that small voice that said, "You should check this." Imagine knowing, deep down, that ignoring something doesn't make it disappear. It just buries it under layers of hope, anxiety, and excuses. Mark knew that feeling all too well. But in his life, there was someone who saw past every polished smile and every confident performance. Someone who loved him enough to push gently again and again until the gentle became firm and the firm became a promise. Her name is Kelly, her partner in every adventure, every laugh, every quiet moment between the chaos of life. Kelly had always been the heart of their home. She knew when he needed reassurance, when he needed space, and when he needed that subtle nudge only a loving partner can give. She recognized that the thing he avoided wasn't just an appointment, it was the fear of what might come after it. And so she kept urging him, not with pressure, but with love. And perhaps it was the tone of her voice, or the way she brushed his cheek when she reminded him, or the soft tremble she never let him notice when she said, "Please, do it for us." But finally, after years of gentle persistence, something shifted in him. Mark made the call. The day of his checkup arrived with a mixture of nerves, humor, and an unexpected intimacy that only health-related moments can create. Walking through the clinic doors, he suddenly felt like every layer of celebrity had fallen away. No scripts, no cameras, no audience, just a man in a patient gown feeling vulnerable and strangely young again. Anyone who has ever walked into a medical room knows that strange duality. You feel tiny and brave, nervous but hopeful. Mark felt it all at once. The staff treated him with warm professionalism, oblivious to the charismatic public figure lying before them. Here, he wasn't a star, he wasn't a character, he wasn't the man viewers adored for his charm. He was simply a person doing something he should have done long ago. As the medication settled in, the edges of the world softened. His fears dissolved like mist. For the first time in decades, he let go of the weight he had been silently carrying. And when Mark finally drifted awake, something hilarious happened. Something only he could turn into a comedic masterpiece. There he was, whispering sweet, ridiculous nonsense with the enthusiastic confidence of someone still floating in a post-procedure dream. He looked at the young nurse helping him, and in his groggy haze, proudly told Kelly he had found a perfect match for their youngest son. He admired the nurse's kindness, her composure, her warmth, and in his foggy sincerity, he started planning future family gatherings right from the hospital bed. Kelly, recognizing that sleepy sparkle in his eye, couldn't help but laugh. There he was, half asleep, wildly confident, and unintentionally matchmaking, like a romantic comedy protagonist. She later joked he came home acting less like a grown father of 3 and more like an enthusiastic college freshman who just discovered he survived exam week. Once they finally got home, his humor only intensified. He paced, he chatted, he snacked on everything within reach. He was fully, gloriously unfiltered. And his wife? She watched it all with that signature blend of affection and exasperation only true love understands. But beneath the laughter, beneath the playful chaos, there was still the quiet heartbeat of fear. Even through the haze, Mark knew why he was there. Kelly knew too. They both waited for the results, hoping the years of postponing hadn't cost them something irreplaceable. When the call came, the relief washed over them with breathtaking force. Mark's results were clear. No danger, no hidden threat, just a healthy report and a future bright with possibility. Kelly teased him, of course. She insisted the doctor said he had the healthiest colon they had ever seen, which made Mark blush with the pride of a teenager winning his first trophy. But beneath the jokes, the relief was profound. 54 years of avoidance ended not with fear, but with freedom. And in that moment, the story became bigger than Mark and Kelly. It became a reminder for everyone listening. We wait, we delay. We tell ourselves, I feel fine, as if fine is the same as safe. We fear being told something is wrong, so we hide from the possibility that something could be right. But avoiding something doesn't protect us, it traps us. Facing it gives us power. Mark's journey shows that love can push us where fear tries to hold us still. It shows that vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage in its purest form. And it shows that laughter, romance, and a bit of ridiculous groggy chatter can turn even the scariest experiences into memories you cherish forever. And now, this story is yours too. Maybe there's something you've been delaying, a call, a checkup, a conversation you've avoided because the unknown feels heavier than the truth. Let Mark's experience remind you that taking care of yourself isn't an obligation, it's a gift to the people who love you, a gift to your future, a promise that you choose life, joy, and possibility. So take the step, make the call, do the thing you've been avoiding, because you matter. Your health matters, your peace matters. And just like Mark, you deserve to wake up on the other side of your fear feeling lighter, happier, and maybe a little silly from the relief. Life is too precious to delay. And love, whether it comes from a partner, a family member, a friend, or simply from within, is worth every brave step forward.